that.
Vote it.
Vote that.
Vote it.
Vote that.
Vote it. Hey. Vote it. Hey. Vote that, Jawn. Would you vote that?
Vote that.
Vote that, Jawn. Did you vote that?
Yup.
Vote that, Jawn. You should vote that.
Yeah.
Jawn. Vote that, Jawn. Did you vote that?
Of course.
Vote that, Jawn. Did you vote that?
Yup.
Vote that, Jawn. Would you vote that?
Yup.
You should vote that. Jawn.
Jawn.
Don't be drunk.
Don't
Vote that, Jawn.
Hey.
Vote it.
Vote that.
Vote it. Hey. Vote
More than
it.
20,000 18-year-olds live in Philadelphia.
Vote that, Jawn.
Just
Would you vote
think,
that?
what if each of us came out to vote?
The youth vote is extremely important because our fight for victory and freedom is not over. Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery and the acquirement of citizenship for Black Americans. However, we must recognize that the work and advocacy for Black rights, including voting rights, continue long after this holiday and must continue today with us youth.
Hi, my name is Samaya, and I vote because, just kidding, I can't vote yet, but I will vote because my ancestors fought for my right to vote, and they fought for my right to vote and protest against police brutality, climate change, everything else I care about. So you should vote too. Happy Juneteenth.
I vote for the unheard minorities, for those who struggle to make it to the polls or whose voices are silenced in our democracy. I vote so the power remains with the people, so the division caused by color, class, or creed does not define the path to change.
For me, voting is an act of love and an act of faith. So when I'm voting in this next election, I am voting for leaders who have bold policies that aren't afraid to reimagine a completely new and better system.
I will vote to end racial inequality. I will vote to end social injustice in all of its many forms. I will vote to leave a better world for the generations of tomorrow.
I am voting for both the immigrant and disability communities in my life. Through voting, I can be a voice for those who may not be able to go to the polls for one reason or another. Voting is a great way for real positive change in our communities and in our government. My power and my voice resides in my vote, and that is why I think voting is so important.
I vote for people who, for one reason or another, might not have everything they need to build a healthy and happy life. If we work to address issues like police brutality, high housing costs, and health issues and their devastating financial repercussions, each person can put 100% of their focus on wellness and joy.
I vote to uplift the voices of those who've been historically disenfranchised. Voting is supposed to be a system where all U.S. citizens are equal, but this still isn't true for each individual. I vote to end voter suppression, to defund police, and to equalize public school funding.
I vote for the women who couldn't until 100 years ago, and for the women who still can't due to a system that has disenfranchised people of color for centuries. I vote for the prison reform and the polling policies that restore the right to vote to all Americans because everyone deserves to have their voice heard.
I vote because I know that electing officials is an important step in achieving social reform, especially within the criminal justice system. I understand that the U.S. bars many of its citizens from utilizing their right to vote, and that makes voting an imperfect platform. But I vote for policies and politicians who will make a more equitable justice and voting system and restore rights to those who have had them stripped away unfairly.
I vote to amplify the voices that aren't heard. Last election, 6.1 million Americans couldn't vote because of felony. Many Americans can't vote because they're under the age or for other reason, and many can't because they aren't citizens yet. I vote to bring their voices to the polls.
I vote to establish a sense of understanding and equality throughout my community. I vote for the students, the minorities, and the underrepresented. And voting is important to me because I want to see more positive changes within my community, especially with topics such as police brutality, racism, wealth inequality.
I choose to vote because of the disenfranchisement that predominantly still affects our Black communities.
When you vote, that's when you truly experience what it means to be an American citizen.
Today, there are 6.1 million Americans that are still systematically denied the right to vote just because of their criminal record. Today, I vote for them.
Hello, my name is Shamal Palacio and I'm 18 years old. The reason that I vote is to push social and economic change in America. You get out there and do the same.
In 1978, John Tower won his re-election against Bob Kruger by 0.5%. That's 12,000 votes. 40 years later, in 2018, Beto O'Rourke lost to Ted Cruz by 2.6%. That's 223,000 votes. Although just statistics that might seem small, these numbers become every bit more strong and powerful with every single vote. The strength in numbers is crucial. Be passionate, independent of your opinion, but make your vote count, because it does, tremendously.
To keep our country a sort of democracy that listens to the voices of the people,
to even a playing field so everybody can have a decent standard of living. We need lawmakers and politicians who are going to distribute the wealth correctly to finally cause an effect on the people inside the government who don't have our best interests in heart in regards to race.
People need to realize that even though they think that their vote might not matter, one vote can make such a difference in the community.
You can be sort of a trend for your community. If you vote, other people will follow you who want to vocalize the same problems in your community.
If the minimum wage hopefully raise up and people have more money to live their lives.
Even if you can't find any reason why it would affect you, most likely you have a neighbor, friend, or loved one who might be disenfranchised and needs you to represent them.
I think it's important to vote because you want to choose your candidate that could represent you.
Everybody has an issue that affects them, and you need to have your voice heard in the government to really get change in that issue.
For women's health care and to make sure that women have an equal opportunity.
Because there was a time in this country where our people, especially for African Americans, weren't allowed to vote. Our ancestors had to go through literary tests and grandfather clauses and beatings just to get the right to vote. To not take that opportunity that they fought for is just disrespecting their history.
Vote that Jawn.
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 Make sure you vote that Jawn.
Vote that.